Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, classmates. My topic is about Philippine taxation, basic rules and principles in Philippine taxation. The Philippine tax system. The tax law in the Philippines cover national and local taxes. National taxes are refers to the national internal revenue taxes imposed and collected by national government through the Bureau of Internal Revenue, and local taxes refers to those imposed and collected by the local government. The 1987 Philippine Constitution sets a limitation on the exercise of power to the tax. The rule of taxation shall be uniform and equitable. The Congress shall be evolve a progressive system of taxation. Article 6, Section 28. What is taxation? Is an inherent power by which the sovereign state imposes financial burden upon persons and property as means of raising revenues in order to defray the necessary expenses of government. Tax dodges by Crescencio Coontian. Taxation is the imposed by financial charges of other levies upon taxpayer, an individual or legal entity, by a state such a failure to pay is punishable by law. The main purpose of the taxation is to accumulate funds for functioning of government machineries. No government in the world can run its administrative office without funds, and it has no such system incorporated itself to generate profit from its functioning. The government's ability to serve the people depends upon taxes that are collected. Taxes are indispensable in the government operation, and without its government will be paralyzed. The 4 R's of taxation. Taxation has the four main purposes or effects: revenue, distribution, repricing, representation. Revenue. The taxes raise money to spend on armies, roads, schools, and hospitals, and more indirect government functions like market, regulation, or legal system. Yung mga siya ang revenue. Redistribution. This refers to transferring wealth from richer sections to society to poor sections. Repricing. Taxes are levied to address externalities. For example, tobacco is taxed to discourage smoking, and carbon tax discourages use carbon-based fuels. Representation. What goes with the slogan "No taxation without representation"? It implies the rulers tax citizens, and citizens demand accountability from their rulers as the other parts this bargain. What is cedula? Also known as a residence certificate, is a legal identity document in the Philippines issued by the municipal of the person that have reached the age of majority, and upon payment of community tax it is considered as a primary form of identification in the Philippines, and is one of the closest single documents. The Philippines has no national system of identification akin to a driver's license and passports. Ang cedula was implemented as 19th century reform during Spanish rules after the tribute system or head tax of the Spain was abolished, and cedula was issued on the Filipino upon payment of residence tax. So, una siya, why is cedula is important? A person is required to represent a cedula when he is acknowledged a document before a notary public, takes oath an office upon election of appointment to a government position, receives a license, certificate, or permit from public authority, pays a tax or fee, receives money from a public fund, transacts official business, or receives salary from persons or corporations. So, mauni siya ang sample sa sidula in 1920s. The development of community tax, the sidula was imposed by Americans during January 1, 1940, when Commonwealth Act Note 465 went into effect, mandating imposition of a base residence tax of 50 centavos and additional tax of 1 peso based factors such as income and real estate holdings. The payment of the tax would merit the issue of residence certificate. Corporations were also subject on the residence tax. History of taxation in the Philippines. Manila Acapulco galleon trade was a main source of income from colony during the early years. Galleon trade is a silver, Neva, Castilla, and silk from China by the Manila. During the Spanish period, new income generation means were introduced by the government, such as the Manila Acapulco galleon trade, polo white servicio or forced labor, bandala, encomienda system or tribute. So, ang Manila Acapulco galleon trade, kuan ni siya kaning katong para itong sa barko nga mag-travel sila sa lain lugar para mag-trade sila, bali mag-barter bitaw sila mga importante nga gamit. So, ang polo white servicio kuan na siya kanang in the Spanish period, kuan na siya kaning 16 to 60 years old male, kailangan na sila magtrabaho. So, ang bandala is a fabric made in Manila from the older leaf and shells of the abaca. So, ang encomienda system is in Spain's American and Philippine colonies legal system by which Spaniards' crowns are attempted to define the status of indigenous population. It was based upon the practices of exacting tribute from Muslims and Jews during the conquest. Ang tribute, all of the Spanish colonies in the America and Philippines were required to pay taxes for two reasons: of recognition of Spain's sovereignty over the colonies and to defray the expenses of pacification of act of forcibility of suppressing hostility within colonies and governance thereafter. His history of taxation. The first known system of taxation was in ancient Egypt around 3000 BC to 2800 BC in the first dynasty of Old Kingdom. In the biblical time, tax is already prevalent according to the Genesis 47 verse 24. But when we crop comes, give fifth of parowa and the other fifths you may keep as seeds for the field and food for yourselves and your households and your children. The pre-colonial society being communication did not have taxes. In the early Filipino practice, a system of taxation of the Spaniards took over the subject paying the tax of the chieftain in return to protect they received from the latter. The chieftain family members are exempted as paying taxes. So, mauna siya ang kuan sa pre-colonial society. So, Maruto, the end. Thank you for watching.